Every day, around 110,000 cars get destroyed. They get scrapped. This Corolla here is just one of them, and that's fine. Toyota made millions of these, so there's still plenty left in case, for whatever reason, your life mission is to see one in person. However, some cars are a lot more rare than that, and once they're gone for good. Hey guys, Stipe here with a list of the top 7 special cars that aren't with us anymore. Let's roll. Take your pants off, it's gonna be a good time. Number 7, the Red Pig. When Hans and Erhard started AMG back in 1967, their business of making slow and lazy Benzes go fast wasn't exactly booming. So to put themselves on the map and show the whole world what they could do, this German duo decided to do the unthinkable. They decided to take the long version S-Class racing. And here is what they came up with. The absolutely massive SEL with a full set of leather seats, air suspension, and an automatic tranny, but also a wider track, fatter tires, and a bored-out engine pumping out almost twice the power as before. Still, no one thought that a chungus like that would do well. But in its very first race at the 24 Hours of Spa, the so-called Red Pig, because it devoured gas and tires, actually managed to finish second.
Pretty dang good, lads! Yeah!
Soon the racing rules changed to ban such engines, banning the AMG Piggy too. So what do you do with a race car that's not allowed to race? You sell it to Matra, of course.
Well, duh.
They were a French aerospace conglomerate that designed fighter jet components, and they loved the SEL's combination of power and weight. Apparently, it's good for testing touchdown scenarios. You get it up to speed, then slam a scaled-down aircraft wheel through the hole in the floor, and measure the results. Sadly, Matra is the last known location of what is the most important car in AMG history, and the only things that remain of it today are these 2 old photos. That's just a replica. Speaking of fighter jets, War Thunder, sponsor of today's video. It's a free-to-play, large-scale military action game that lets you fly them and blow shit up. Blow your enemy, blow your friend, and if flying isn't your thing, we've got tanks, we've got boats, we've got over 2,500 different vehicles spanning over 100 years of military technology, all fighting in large-scale battles all over the world, from Ardennes to Alaska to Africa. The sounds are authentic, the visuals realistic, everything is detailed down to the smallest cog, and it acts like it. No health bars here. Hit the treads, and the tank can't move. Hit the cannon, now it can't shoot. Hit the crew, and the balls, and they can't have no kids no mo. Okay, I made that last one up, but how cool was that X-ray mode, huh? The recent update, Heavy Cavalry just brought in even more mayhem with the new M1A2C, Leopard 2RI, MiG-29K, TV-guided missiles, overhauled maps, and more. So it's a perfect time for you to join the battle. Click the link in the description and download now for free on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, because all new players and those who haven't played for half a year and more will receive 100,000 Silver Lions, Eagle of Valor, Special Decorator, and more. You can also take action on the go with War Thunder Mobile. Download it and play for free on iOS or Android using the link in the description or the pinned comment. War Thunder! Join me and let's blow some shit up. Number 6, Goldfinger DB5. When it comes to bomb cars, those gadget-filled speed machines prepared for him by the MI6Q division, none is more iconic than the Aston Martin DB5. Do you know that it's appeared in more 007 movies than any actor?
It's true.
Anyway, the DB5 actually first appeared only in the 3rd movie, Goldfinger, for which 2 cars were used. One completely stock for high-speed driving and another modified for the gadget scenes. That second one, the gadget car, chassis number DP2161, that's the one, the OG Bond car. And what happened to it is worthy of a thriller movie all on its own. After filming wrap, this 007 Aston was sold off and then changed hands a few more times until June 18th, 1997. Remember that. That night, the car was stolen from a high-security hangar at the Boca Raton Airport in Florida, the worst state ever. Look at it, it's like flaccid down there. It's like America's, 250-year-old.
Johnson. Yes, sir.
Anyway, the heist was so well executed that no alarms were triggered and no clues were left behind. Nothing. If it wasn't for the cut padlocks and the empty spot where the Aston used to sit, you'd think the owner just took it out for a spin. Luckily for that owner, insurance covered his loss to the tune of, hear this, $4.2 million, leading some to speculate that the whole thing was an insurance scam, though that was never proven. And neither was the rumor about it being spotted somewhere in the Middle East. All we know for sure is that nearly 30 years later, the 2161 DB5 is still missing. Number 5, Renault CB Coupe de Ville. Remember how I said that they should make a movie about what happened to Bond's DB5? Well, when it comes to this Renault, they did. It's called Titanic. Now, I know the whole story was about Jack and Rose, but they were made up, whereas the CB Coupe de Ville was very much real. It was the only car on board this ship, and it was well documented who it belonged to and even where it was stored. But there's more to it than just that famous shipwreck. It might sound strange today, but in 1912, when this car was built, Renault was considered a luxury car maker, and the Coupe de Ville was the creme de la creme of their lineup. It was so exclusive that when Mr. William Carter bought it, it didn't even come with a body. Back then, you bought the chassis and hired a custom coach builder to craft the body to your exact spec, which is exactly what Carter did while vacationing in Europe with his family. He ended up going for this black and red body with gold accents, which at the time, when most families hardly owned a horse, must have looked like $1 million. The Carter family survived the shipwreck, but the car? Well, this is it. A barely recognizable mess of parts and mud. Kinda looks like a sunken dinosaur turd if you ask me. Even so, if a Titanic watch can sell for over $1 million, who knows what the one and only car would go for today? Some estimate north of $15 million. So, anyone got a submarine to rent? Maybe Ocean Gate? Number 4, Toyota AA. The year is 1987. Ferrari F40 became the first road car to hit 200 miles per hour. Your boy Stipe here was born, and Toyota was preparing for a big anniversary. It's been 5 decades since they switched from making looms to making cars, so a proper party was in order. You know, lots of food, lots of booze, and a few of the most significant cars on display, including their first ever model, the Model AA. Of course, there had to be a double A. It's the genesis of what would later become the biggest car maker in the world. So can please someone go get one from our museum? What do you mean we don't have it? Well, damn, go look for one. They searched and searched and searched the whole world over, and it turns out there aren't any. Not a single person thought about preserving it. So instead, Toyota built this close enough replica from some old photos and incomplete blueprints, and partied like nothing ever happened. But the story doesn't end here, because 20 years later, some student actually came across one in Russia, of all places. With a derelict exterior, a dead Chevy engine, a drivetrain from a Soviet truck, and a botched left-hand drive conversion, it was in rougher state than Russia itself. But hey, the Model AA was supposed to be extinct, and here it is! The student knew the significance of it and immediately wrote the Lohman Automotive Museum in the Netherlands to save what could very well be the first Toyota in existence. And well, ta-da! Number 3, Lincoln Futura. Man, those 1950s were great, huh? Houses were affordable. There was optimism in the air. World of Tomorrow fairs were a thing, and every car brand was showing off their version of what cars of the future would look like. This was Lincoln's idea, the Futura. Ford actually paid $250,000 doubloons, or $2.8 million in today's money, to Italian coach builder Ghia to build it by hand. With its double-bubble cockpit, space-age fins, and I said cock, didn't I? And a paint with fish scales on it? This thing looked like it was out of this world. The Futura was such a big hit, it actually started a movie. Although they had to repaint it red since the glistening fish paint was blinding the cameras too much. Talk about a flex. But after that, nothing. Silence. The Futura's fame was fading, so Ford was about to scrap it, since that's what you do with old concepts. But in came George Barris. That's the guy who became famous for creating crazy one-off cars for Hollywood, and he bought it from Ford, and you'll never guess, $1. What? Anyway, Georgie Boy here bought it with a purpose, to turn it into the first ever Batmobile. Up until then, Batman would just drive some regular car, but no more. The Futura became the most famous Hollywood car probably ever, And sure, the original design, the thing it got famous for, was cut up, altered, and basically doesn't exist anymore. But undergoing a radical surgery, and for even more fame, is always a no-brainer. At least in Hollywood. Number 2, Bugatti 57 Atlantic. There's art on wheels, and then there's this thing. Jean Bugatti, Ettore's son, and the designer behind it, called it the ultimate artistic expression of the Bugatti brand. And looking at its flowing Art Deco lines, yeah, the kid was definitely right. From every angle, it's just woofs and ahs. Hell, even the doors are special. Look at them. Not even Sydney Sweeney is this curvy. Anyway, only 4 Atlantics were ever made, of which 3 went to some European elites, but this black one, Jean Bugatti, kept it as his personal ride. Today, we know exactly where those 3 are: Spain, Ralph Lauren, Walton family, but Jean's car, the legendary Louis Vuitton Noir,
La Voiture Noire.
that one has been missing since February 18th, 1941, when the Nazis started playing rough with France. It was a common practice to hide prized possessions in cars from destruction or Nazi thieves, and so on February 18th, Jean's Atlantic was hurried onto a train to a hideout in Bordeaux, but then, poof, disappeared without a trace. Did it ever arrive, you might ask? Was it stolen on the way? Is it still sitting in some collapsed barn under 85 years of hay? No one knows. The search for this $200 million black bug has been going on ever since, and whoever, if ever, finds it, that person will be rich beyond their wildest dreams. Until then, Ralph Lauren painted his blue car black, I guess so that we can see what the missing car would look like. But that's just not the same thing, now is it? Anyway, before I reveal my number 1, here are 3 more honorable mentions. First up, the Chrysler Norseman, a concept car whose body was also built by Ghia in Italy, but oh no, the ship carrying it to the United States for its unveiling at the 1957 New York Auto Show sank, and the car went straight to the bottom of the ocean with it.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water.
Next up, the BMW Garmisch. If you think modern Beamers are ugly, look at what Gondini did in 1970. Yes, the same guy who designed the Countach also made this. After the Geneva Motor Show, the car was sent back to Munich, but somehow got lost along the way. Good riddance, I say. In third, James Dean's Porsche 550 Spider. After killing the famous actor, the Little Bastards wreck was toured all over the country to scare people into safer driving. But after an exhibit in Miami, the car was loaded onto a train bound for LA, only for the train to arrive completely empty. Shh. And now, number 1, Mazda Furai. Concept cars often look outlandish, but none is as outlandish as the Mazda's final evolution of their Nagare design philosophy, the Furai. For starters, it is a fully functional car built on the Le Mans Racer chassis. The mad 450 horsepower 3-rotor Wankel runs on pure ethanol, and how can anyone look at that leafy design and not have their jaw drop to the floor? I don't know. Those side ribs, that sharp, illuminated face, and the way they closed up the rear end with these glowing tentacles, it's just, chef's kiss. Too bad the Furai is no more. Actually, it's been no more ever since Top Gear magazine got a hold of it. They were the first people outside Mazda to have the privilege of actually driving it, and for a couple of hours, everything was fine. Some photos were taken, Stig did a couple of laps with it, but then the Furai started looking like this.
No!
And this.
God!
And this.
No! God, please!
And ultimately, this.
No!
For 5 years, both Mazda and Top Gear kept their mouths so shut, you'd think that they were testifying in front of the Congress, until finally in 2013 the green light was given to publish the story. Okay, fine, shit happened, but what's stopping Mazda from bringing it back from the ashes? Huh? Really? All the other cars on this list have their replicas, so where's the Furai? Who knows? Maybe they're rebuilding it in some secret laboratory somewhere and keeping their mouth shut about it. Again. Until then, Forza Horizon 6 is where it'll live on. And I will always love you. Ooh, I didn't know I could hit that note. Ooh, I will always